Yeah. Cool. Okay. Good. Okay, I'm doing the start anyway, and I think until I'm at the middle part, Santiago will be here as well.
Okay, good luck.
To join in. Thank you, bro. I will just start sharing my screen. Okay, 1 second. Actually, okay, just wait a second. I'm not using Chrome, Google Meets and Safari usually. 1 second.
No worries.
Where do I do that? Screen sharing. Okay. Okay, 1 second. I think I got it. Good. All right. Cool.
Santiago
Then, yeah.
is your
Yeah,
teammate. Okay, nice.
it's coming. Santi's here. Yeah, cool. Good. Okay. Then I'll do the start and dig in. Quick update from our side, which is pretty cool. In the past month, a lot of stuff happened, especially on the commercial side of things, and we got a lot of backing from the Solana ecosystem. So DSID is now building Solana ID, which is the flagship ID protocol for the Solana ecosystem. It's the same project that we proposed in the Ignite proposal, but with the slight twist that we're catering the Solana ecosystem of DApps and users, which is actually a very smart thing looking back, because they have a lot of users and apps already that are actually being used, while a lot of other blockchains are still struggling to get the traction going, but have great tech. So what we're doing now is we're using great tech under the hood from other ecosystems like Mina, but we're catering the community of Solana and branding ourselves as Solana ID to the world. So that's just a slight pivot in terms of the branding, just to clear that up in front. Now, in terms of the milestones from our side, we did basically define the milestones for the midpoint, which was a revised front end. So we did have a POC in place already last year for DSID, which was a very simple user phase where you can see your on-chain credit score, for example. That was something we worked on last year. And now for the midpoint milestone, we wanted to kind of bring this to the next level, have an advanced front end for much more capabilities and features for the next version of or the first full version of the app. So that has been worked on and finished and completed. We're going to check that out in a bit. Then we had basically the code aspect of the milestone, which is verifying ownership of different wallet accounts. So we're trying to basically verifiably map different wallets, even across ecosystems together, without really revealing the address. So that's where O1JS comes into play. We're going to show that as well and look at the code. That's where Santi will take over in a bit. And there's some more features actually in that go beyond this milestone. And then we also completed the traction milestone, which was for 500 users to sign up and create scores. We did a small workaround because we weren't ready with the code to kind of release a full version or even an MVP that basically allows us to sign users up, but we still wanted to get the traction milestone going. So we basically just launched a waiting list, which is very minimalistic in terms of the tech under the hood, but it looks very nice. And we did a lot of marketing around it. So we actually surpassed this milestone by a lot. And I'll talk about this in a bit as well. Quick recap, what Solana ID and DSID is actually doing right now. We do work on an identity solution, but we've been building a digital ID for a while, and many projects, they die because they don't find a good use case, a good business case where they can actually make money with. So we asked ourselves the question, how can we build a valid use case, raise money as well, with something that is actually needed by apps that goes beyond the KYC check, for example, which is very hard right now in Web3 to monetize on. And then we came to the fact, okay, let's just use identity accounts to solve the problem of targeted advertisement and marketing in Web3. So we are going to help apps, especially on Solana in the first version, to lower their customer acquisition cost tremendously by having much more information on the users they're trying to acquire and to convert. And they're currently suffering from all very inefficient strategies to basically onboard users, because they just spray and pray and do those silly and Galaxy campaigns, which we all do, and it's cool, but you don't really get the users that your app needs, the power users, the sticky users, and we have to identify them. And at the same time, since we're a platform, we're also helping users and crypto natives to find the alpha and perks that they all desire. So if you're a Solana ID holder and basically part of the DSID ecosystem as a user, you can also, it helps you to be less distracted and get offers that actually are relevant to you. So we're solving problems on both sides, helping apps to basically identify the right people, do much more efficient marketing and save money, and give users personal perks on chain and extract more value for their data in a privacy preserving way. So far, so good. Just as a recap, what Solana ID is. And then in terms of the front end, we basically build all the pages that are needed for our beta version, which is a new sign up and login page with complete new CI as well. The Solana ID profile page, which we're going to check out. The privacy control page, which is another interesting feature we're working on. The wallet section where you can aggregate wallets, which is the core feature we've been working on for the Mina part as well. And the ecosystem page where you can explore Solana ID partners that are basically offering better perks and discounts for Solana ID holders. Now, how does that look like in the current state? I would say it is like probably 90% done, or even a bit more, because we did already a few iterations on the designs. We have everything ready, mobile, tablet, and desktop. And we basically have the profile page, which looks like this, where the user can see an on-chain score of this account, and the account can be either one wallet that's currently connected, or this guy already has 3 wallets connected. He sees his net worth across all wallets in terms of NFTs and tokens that he's holding. He can access a solid vault where you can on-ramp off-chain credentials into your Solana ID profile in a secure way. You can expand the ecosystem. You can check out your privacy control. I'm going to touch on that next. And you can also have a view on your reputation history, which is basically a catalog of verifications that have been done on your Solana ID. So we pride ourselves to be as transparent as possible as an ID solution. So you need to see who's actually tapping into your data. And additionally, we also pride ourselves to be to give the power to the user, so you can decide if that's cool or if you want to block someone here for future interactions with your data backpack. We won't look into each profile. I think that goes a little bit too far, but just to see some more of the UI UX that has been done already. The privacy control is exactly that feature where you can check out the verifiers tapping into what kind of data points in your backpack, and then you can disable and enable them. So you can say, hey, I want to be completely transparent for the maximum perks for my data, and then I enable all of them. Or I want to be a little bit less transparent with my data because I don't want Gito to check out my, social media follower numbers. So then you disable them. So at the end, you have the opportunity to do that, which is inherently different from how we experience the internet today. Lastly, we also built a pretty neat ecosystem page where we're going to list all our partners, and we're going to have an algorithm in the back to how the movies that are relevant to you, but ecosystem a bit more. And it's unresponsive. So exit this page, and I'm just going to go back to the pitch. I hope my Chrome is not dying. I hope I'm still in the call. I think so. Cool. Then that's the front end. So that was the front end milestone, and I think we can make a check on that, and we can continue with the code part of the app, where we basically had the milestone of verifying ownership to basically get this wallet aggregation feature going that I touched on earlier at the first slide, where we map different wallet accounts together. So basically, we gather different accounts, put it all in a proof, and verify it on Mina. So you can have this kind of cross-network interaction to bundle wallets from EVM, Solana, Mina, wherever, without knowing the actual address, but still verify that they belong to each other. And then we also have, on top of that, some additional verifications of ID data and Web2 data that's basically in the same code. And to look a bit closer on that, I think this would be a good time to check out the repo, Santi, and give the word to you. So I think I might stop my screen share. And then we also make the repo public for the reviewers to check. Yeah. So I'm just going to present.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simon.
Cool.
Let me know whenever my screen is available to you guys, please.
Yeah, not yet. Now it's there.
Okay, perfect. So this is going to be a little technical, so I will try to be like as succinct as I can. First, and regarding the tech question, the relationship between Solana ID and Mina currently and for this cycle is that we can use Mina as the backbone tech for all the validation related to our solution. The thing is that with Mina, we realized, and also not just Mina, but especially one, yes, we realized that we could offer an agnostic solution that could integrate any kind of information about external addresses and networks and still be able to be used in other contexts. I'm going to explain this super quickly. Please let me know if you have doubts. Currently, what you're seeing here is the skeleton of the smart contract. For this iteration, we are working with the experimental feature of off-chain storage. The idea is that our contract will act, as some kind of intermediary between the off-chain storage and also the request from the client that come from the front end. Again, whenever you try to, register an account on Solana ID or making some kind of update and verification, what you are going to be doing is calling the contract, and then the contract will fall back to an off-chain state that, for example, in the registration phase, will act as a funnel to get all the initial configurations for that particular account. I'm going to show you exactly how is the schema of that particular off-chain state. The idea is that we'll have several Merkle maps, or that's not correct. We will have a single Merkle map that will have different values and properties. This, again, using the capabilities of the off-chain storage. And we'll have metadata information about the user account, a property for the linked Web2 accounts that we'll have for that particular user. Again, another property that's about the linked Web3 accounts. I'm going to elaborate on those two in a moment. A property that's called claim rewards, because again, and maybe not for this cycle, but later on, we want to make sure that the SID is able to offer some kind of repayment or any kind of incentive to our users in lieu of getting permission from them to use their data, right? Also, and this is also something that we are going to be discussing in the following cycles, we'll have property in which we will whitelist a set of addresses to be able to interact with this data. The idea is to give permission to a set of addresses, let's say, and this is just an example. Let's say that later McDonald's wants to have access to your data, right? So McDonald's will have to have a public address, and then we can, in lieu of the user, give permission to that public address to access to some parts of the data. But again, that's something that is still in the works, and we are going to be iterating on this a little while. So in terms of what kind of a structure do we have here, this is an example of what we can do on account with the account metadata. Currently, we're storing the network and also a circuit stream for metadata itself. For the linked Web2 accounts, what you're seeing here is that we will have an array of linked Web2 accounts in which we'll have something super simple right now, like the platform that we are linking, the handle that we're linking, and the status of that link. Let's say that you try to connect to your Twitter, so we'll have some kind of record that will say, okay, this guy has a Twitter and its handle is this. Again, this is going to be something that we are going to be iterating later because it's not yet decided how we're going to be storing this handle in a more private way. That's something that we haven't been discussed with Florian, but yeah, and again, this struct class gives the basic methods that we could use for making the updates and the request and the obtention of the information. Again, for the linking Web3 accounts, it's almost the same, the network that you are trying to link. And this is important because what, again, and circling back to what I said before, what we realized with Mina is that it doesn't matter if you're on Polygon, doesn't matter if you are on Solana, doesn't matter if you're on Mina itself, you can store the information in a way in we know exactly what's the relationship between different wallets and the Mina wallet that you have, right? So with this, we can store, let's say, I don't know, Simon's wallet on Mina, and he just registered with that. Then later, he realized that he wanted to connect its Polygon wallet to this solution. So we can create the record and we will have a way of making a relationship between Simon's Mina's wallet and Simon's Polygon wallet or another wallet that he has there, right? And in the overall sense, that's pretty much what we are doing right now. Um, Again, we have the methods for the creation and the update of the account. It has been super challenging and fun working with the experimental feature of the off-chain store. And also, there's a lot of work to be done in the following cycles. We need to get a good hold of the idea of a probable method, because again, we come from a traditional way of implementing smart contracts and then working with the idea of zero-K has been uh, not just an unique experience, but also something that is changing or internal shift in terms of development. So I'm not really sure that you guys have some questions.
We can do it at the end, Santi. I will wrap up with one slide, and then if there's questions, then they can ask it at the end. But if you're, I think we're good on the code part. Thanks, Santi. Cool. Then I just wrap it up now. Gonna go back to the presentation. There's one more milestone I wanted to touch on. Am I sharing? I think so. Yeah, cool. So that was the code part. So we're working on it, but actually the past month we did a lot of work on the commercial side of things. So besides getting closer to Solana and securing grants and kind of working with the foundation and stuff to get into that ecosystem, we also really worked on the brand. So we kind of doubled our community on Twitter and on Discord and on Telegram. And then we also 2 days ago launched this waiting list that I mentioned earlier to basically get the early traction in. So the milestone was to get first 500 users to sign up and get a score. So we actually did that with the waiting list. We call it the solid priority pass. You get a lane number and you can improve that lane number and kind of skip the lane if you do certain interactions like verifying your Twitter, verifying your email, or being a user of one of our strategic partners. And then your on-chain score basically is another credential that's being taken into account when calculating your lane number. And we did have more than 6,000 signups to date in the past 2 days. And more than 4,500 people also verified the email. So we got the email as well. And that's just the beginning. I think we can proceed. We have some more initiatives planned to increase the traction only on this waiting list. And then going forward, we're going to work on finalizing the front end. You've seen them. They're already pretty done. We're going to iterate a little bit on some feedback and then start the implementation on the front end. while at the same time working on the backend implementations now relating to Mina, resolve some of the open bugs and make sure the unit tests are working, complete integration with the Mina blockchain for all Mina parts of the application. And then, yeah, work on the beta V1 launch of Solana ID, which will include the zk wallet aggregation across chains, what we laid out here today already, where we started with. We want to include also verifiably linking of Web2 accounts. And then there's another thing we're working on, which is basically, yeah, having a list of trusted accounts also in the smart contract for whitelisted verifiers that are allowed to tap into data. So it's another thing we're working on. And then obviously advance our traction. So have more than 10K Solana ID users. That was part of the milestone for the final part as well. Have more than 10K users and 10K B2B partnerships that are basically verifying ID data as well. So yes, I'm ready. We're ready. We're continuing to build. So you can follow us on our socials if you want. If there's any questions, then you can ask them now. But I think we should be pretty good. And then back to building. Thank you. I'm gonna stop presenting.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Did you address the questions in the question in the chat, regarding data?
What was it? Let me check.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I don't know if it was clear the between
maybe I can
Santi, yeah.
I mean Simon, right?
Yeah.
So again, the idea is that we'll have an initial account creation on the Mina side, right? So you start, let's say, that with a Mina wallet, and you create the account. We also want to iterate in a way in which if you start with a Solana wallet or a Polygon wallet, first we create the account for you. We set up everything to that Mina account. And then later on, what we do is adding this address network pair to that particular off-chain storage. Also, and that will be related to the original Mina wallet that we created on the registration process. The idea is to have a link between an initial Mina wallet and additional address network pairs that the user wants to connect to everything else. We also discuss in a moment, but this is for later iterations, that we could try to implement some kind of a cross-chain compatibility. Let's say that you created your account and then you link your Solana wallet to this, and probably you should have a way of getting some kind of a custom token contract like it's defined on Mina, but for that Solana account. Not really sure that I'm being clear enough, that you guys are following me.
Yeah.
But
otherwise
yeah, exactly. The idea is that we'll have an initial Mina wallet that will be the center of the connection, and then we will relate that Mina wallet or make a relationship to that Mina wallet to external network and address pair of the additional connected user wallets. So that's the idea. That's why we think that using Mina as a backbone, we can, as a matter of fact, offer some kind of holistic solution, agnostic solution that you could use for another blockchains without really having to worry of making something technically really complex. At the end of the day, Mina will act as the repository of those relationships. And with that, everything else that we do in the Web3 space is just a matter of orchestrating what do you want to have, what do you want to show, what do you need to implement on the external blockchains. Because at the end of the day, that's what we think this technology offers us. So not really sure that was clear enough. If you want, I can elaborate a little more.
Thanks, Santi. I think it should be fine for now. Otherwise, yeah, just let's continue chatting on Discord and we give the stage to the next team. I'm gonna put the link here in the chat as well for the repo in a bit. before I leave. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So next is Become Bola team. Let me